Wait, do you?
But area up there on the where the circle is near Hopkinsville, you folks in Cadiz, Kentucky, give you a heads up there. That's pretty close to you.
Okay, the one in DeKalb County, it just crawled across that is in effect until 2:15. And we've been seeing some of that move into Putnam County, into White County. Let's take a quick look at that before we move on to the west. And there are certainly some pressing things to the west we want to look at. I think I went a little bit too high.
Our old buddy Mark Peake, who used to work here at Channel 4 as a constable up there in Livingston, is probably getting rained on pretty heavy right now.
Yeah. I believe probably the area that we've been watching all the time now, I believe this is probably part of it in the southern part of Putnam County, and it's probably part of it in the northern part of White County, with a little bit of it easing up toward Cookeville, but it looks like Cookeville probably won't see the brunt of this. It'll be the folks here north, between Sparta and Cookeville, north of Sparta.
We understand the airport, the Nashville International Airport, a number of cargo planes have stacked up. They cannot take off. I would not be at all surprised if passenger planes are affected and schedules there affected. So you folks with travel plans today, I think you may have to change those travel plans.
Putting a storm track on what's left of this storm that's actually responsible for the tornado warning in DeKalb County. Now it's moved a little bit further east. It'll be in Nash by 2:03, Diddy by 2:09, Baker's Crossroads by 2:11, Macedonia by 2:13, Grafton by 2:21, Spring Hill by 2:25. Right now it looks like it's losing some of its punch. We saw it start to lose some of its punch once, and then we saw it blossom once again. I hope that we can really say goodbye to this one at this point. But at this point, there's still some hail involved in this. There's still some heavy downpours. There's still some wind. So it's still something you don't want to be outside for. It's still something you want to be inside, away from windows, and take all the precautions you can.
When one of those diminishes, Nancy, it seems like another one takes its place. It's sort of like pizza.
My thoughts exactly.
The map looks like pizza with little red blotches there.
Okay, now I understand where you're coming from. Let's start up here in, I don't know whether to start in Hopkinsville or down toward Waverly. Waverly is actually looking a little bit stronger right now. Let's go there first.
Let's take a tour, travel around the area. This is the area where we had the tornado this morning, Waverly and Dixon, and it's beginning to refire up there again. You didn't need that, but here it is anyway.
Okay, storm track on this. Moving toward Waverly. Actually, of course, it's in Waverly now, and moving beyond. Let me check the other cities on here and make sure we're in the right territory. Tell you what, I'm going to draw a new storm track because I think that old storm track may be ready to, is probably obsolete at this point.
Looks like the folks in Dixon are beginning to get some more rain again, right in the midst of those cleanup efforts. What you didn't need was some more of what you're getting right now.
Okay, the storm that's now in Waverly, I'm going to widen out the storm track a little bit to make it a little broader to encompass really as large an area as we're actually seeing there. Should be reaching Gorman by 2:06, McEwen by 2:11, Silverton by 2:15, Thompson's Crossroads by 2:19, Ruskin by 2:21, Edgewood by 2:21.
That's the one the Weather Service was just talking about, Nancy, there in western Humphreys County. Weather Service says there's a severe thunderstorm between Bakersville and Denver, and it's moving northeast about 40.
About 40, okay, that's where a tornado warning for Henderson County. That's a little bit further to the southwest. Let's get out of this area here. Folks in Waverly, in this area we've just told you about, please continue to take cover. This is headed toward South Side and Charlotte. The Dixon area may actually see more of this. Warning for that. I want to give you a heads up in Dixon, Charlotte, and South Side. Some of this could be headed your way, and certainly we know Dixon doesn't need any more trouble.
And further to west there in southern Henderson County, the Weather Service says there's a tornado warning there until 2:25, that's about another 20 minutes from now, a possible tornado near Reagan. That's there in southern Henderson County.
Okay.
So that's to the south and west of Humphreys County where we were there, right a little bit north and east of Jackson. So that's in Henderson County. The towns are Reagan. Reagan is the one that they mentioned from the Weather Service. Tornado warning for southern Henderson County in western Tennessee. That would be that cell right there. And yes, I see what they're talking about.
This one is also looking a little nasty, too.
Yeah, down there in Jackson.
Looks like it's just getting ready to move into Decatur County, I guess. Or is it Benton? Decatur County, on the other side of this line. I believe this is the county line for Decatur County.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, here's the Tennessee River.
So it's moving through Perry County on its way toward, probably toward Hickman County there in Centerville area.
I'm going to move this down a little bit so I can get an accurate storm track on what's happening here.
That area, the red area there just to the north and west of Decaturville looks pretty threatening.
How fast did they say this is moving?
I think it's northeast at 40.
Northeast at 40, okay.
Yep.
That gives us what we need for a new storm track. I'll start it right here. Northeast at 40. That puts it in Chesterfield by 208, Darden by 211, Beacon by 213, Five Forks by 217, Hickory Forks by 217, Parsons by 218, and it looks like as it continues on that trek that it is moving into Decatur County. So folks in Decatur County, we don't have an official warning for you yet, but please go ahead and take cover now. After that, it looks like it'll be moving into Perry County, the northern part of Perry County. So be ready to take cover there too.
Severe thunderstorm warning means damaging lightning, hail, and winds, and of course rain. Those winds could go up to 50 miles an hour. So that could do some damage to especially outbuildings or perhaps even to the roof of a regular house. If it catches the wind just right, could lift it right off.
And I want to emphasize again that what we're looking at here right now in Parsons County, near the Parsons area, in Henderson County on into Decatur County. What we're talking about here is a tornado warning. That means radar, one has been identified on radar. And there may be one on the ground, it may be circulating in the air, but it certainly is a threat at this time. It's important to seek shelter immediately in this area. If you're in a house or a sturdy building, the safest place, of course, is your basement. And once you're in your basement, it helps if you can even seek more shelter there. Get under a workbench or a piece of sturdy furniture. If there is no basement, go to the lowest floor of the building and put as many walls as possible between you and the tornado.
Let's remind everybody, this is one of those things you need to do at TV stations. This is WSMV TV, Channel 4 in Nashville. We're staying on the air as long as there are tornado warnings in the area, and there are tornado warnings in the area, so we are going to continue to stay on as long as they are here. This is the one of the two big ones. I guess am I right there? The two big ones, this one and the one over to the east in the Smithville area.
Yes.
Those are the two biggies right now.
And the last time we took a look at that one over east in DeKalb, in DeKalb County, that tornado warning is going to expire probably in about 5 minutes. And it looked like it was dying out. We can swing back over there since that's the other area of our warning. And see
Before you move, just point out there that the Waverly-Dixon area, that one is refiring.
Oh yes, in fact, we'll take a closer look at this one next. This is looking kind of ugly and potentially just as ugly as the one where we're seeing a tornado warning now to its south. This is the area where we had been seeing the tornado warning in DeKalb County. Right now, it looks like it's still continuing to lose strength. I hope that pattern continues. It is moving more into Putnam and White County as well.
Severe thunderstorm warnings over much of Middle Tennessee. A tornado watch until 8 tonight, and many tornado warnings right now in our immediate area. Not the immediate area of Channel 4, but within the viewing area of Channel 4. So until 8 o'clock tonight, keep your eyes to the skies, your eyes to Channel 4.
Okay, going up a little higher, we were going to take a look at this area. This is in This is in southern Kentucky. Right down here, to get you oriented, right down here is Callaway County. Right here is Trigg County, and the big action we're seeing right now is in Trigg County. Now, the official warning right now is still in Callaway County, but you can see everything has now moved to the northeast.
I think just it'll crawl on the screen in a minute, Nancy. Dixon County, severe thunderstorm warning there until 3:10, about another hour's worth of
Okay, let's
mayhem.
go ahead and swing on down to Dixon County. Before we do that, everyone in Trigg County, be aware there's not an official thunderstorm warning for you right now, but there probably will be any moment, so go ahead and take cover in that area. Now down to Dixon County. This is where, in Dixon, is where a tornado touched down earlier today. You've been hearing reports about it throughout the day. They certainly don't need any more trouble there.
But now you're under a severe thunderstorm warning yet again.
It looks like they're just on the edge of some precipitation right now. I'm going to pull out a little farther.
Looks like McEwen is probably catching the brunt of it right now. It's about 6 miles south of Waverly. That's where the Weather Service is saying the center of it is, and that's what we're seeing there on our
6
SkyMax
miles
radar.
south of Waverly, and by now it's probably moved about right here since we got that statement. Putting on a storm track there, probably moving northeast. What direction does it say it's moving in that statement, James?
Let me double check.
I don't want to guess here.
I don't either. Give me a sec here. Up. Doesn't say. Oh, east at 45 miles an hour. Okay.
East at
East.
45 miles an hour. Okay, that's a little bit unexpected. I'm glad I asked. Okay, that is, as it appears, headed right into Dixon. They certainly don't need this. They have had plenty of trouble already today. This is not good news for Dixon at all. Of course, it wouldn't be good news for anybody in the path of this storm, but it's particularly troubling at this moment.
And of course, we have not mentioned recently, so I will mention it again. In Henderson County, there is a tornado warning in that area. I just crawled on the screen, so in case you missed it.
This storm near Waverly that's headed east toward Dixon is also going to go through New Hope around 2:15. That's a couple minutes away. Milltown by 2:19. Tennessee City by 2:25. Oak Grove by 2:27. Donegan Crossing by 2:28. Eno by 2:29. And then move on to Pond by 2:31. Dixon, it looks like this will reach you around 2:34. So you have, roughly 15 minutes before it arrives in your neck of the woods. Pomona by 2:37, Colesburg by 2:37, Tidwell by 2:38, Iron Hill by 2:39, Abiff by 2:39, Burns by 2:39, Porter by 2:24. And
So-
right now, of course, I'm sorry, James, right now it is, of course, a severe thunderstorm warning. But as we've seen so many times today, severe thunderstorm warnings turn into something much more serious.
The day continues to wear on, and so do we. It's now 2:15. Let's see, it's been, you started on the air at 5:15, Nancy. That's,
It was actually 4:45.
so about 9.5 hours. We've been watching this system. It's not going away. It continues to fire and refire. To sort of summarize the things that have gone on.
And while you summarize, I'm going to go back to Henderson, and it looks like there's now a tornado warning for Henderson and Decatur County. We had talked about the fact that it looked like it was headed that way.
Well, we had the tornado that hit Dixon this morning. It caused some damage to the big warehouse-type building there called Fleetport, USA. Way out to the west in Dyer County, a man and woman were killed there when a tornado hit their home in Roellen. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning. Their bodies were found about 250 feet from the home. There were 2 other people injured out there in Dyer County also. Now, the storm then moved east. Tornado warnings posted in Nashville and many other portions of Middle Tennessee. We did have a reported touchdown in Franklin, but did not cause significant damage. And then over in Dixon County, we knew about that one that hit in Dixon. 10 homes extensively damaged there, 3 people hurt, but very fortunately none of those was injured seriously. That's according to Dixon Police Chief Ricky Chandler. And the
James,
folks,
I'm sorry, I need to break in mid-sentence here for just a moment. We're looking at this area here in Parsons. Parsons is really getting hit hard right now in Decatur County. The National Weather Service says this is moving east at 45 miles an hour. And that'll put it in Perryville by 227, Bustletown by 223, East Perryville Landing by 223, Burton's Landing by 224, West Mousetail Landing by 224, Lick Creek Landing by 224. Again, this is a tornado indicated by the Weather Service's Doppler radar. They say that the radar identified this 5 miles southwest of Decaturville, moving at 45 miles an hour to the east. And I believe since then it has actually moved. I'll tell you what, I'm going to move this storm track down just a hair.
the Decatur County tornado warning, by the way, has now been extended to 3 o'clock. I believe that's new information.
Extended till 3 o'clock, Decatur County. I'm moving this storm track a little bit. I think this is going to be a little bit more accurate. Wilkinson Town by 218, Decaturville by 221, Mount Tabor by 221. This is a tornado we're talking about. These areas need to be taking cover now. 225, Utah, 226, Mount Lebanon, 226, Perryville. And then it moves on to east. Can't tell what that is. Howard moves on to Hope, Bethel, Linden, Sugar Hill. These areas need to be ready to take cover. It looks like it will be moving on into Perry County, so Perry County, just, get ready now for what seems to be the inevitable. This is a tornado warning. This started in Henderson County. It has now moved into Decatur County, although there may be just a shred of this left, of this intensity left in the tiniest little bit of Henderson County. Mount Zion Road now seeing some heavy circulation, some heavy wind pattern from this. Middlesburg Road, Richard Smith Road, and as far as some areas getting some heavy hail right now, it's probably Parsons and the surrounding areas, which would include Brody's Landing Road, Joe D. Woods Road, Gilbert Road, Maystown Road, areas like that. Again, this is a tornado warning in Decatur County. We expect it to continue until 3 o'clock. This is probably going to move on into Perry County. So Perry County, just, get ready and be ready to, this is kind of a heads up for you before the official warning. Be ready to take cover.
And a reminder to those of you who would like to keep up with your soap operas, if you'll call 353-4444, we'll give you a recording and you can get a synopsis of what's going on in today's adventures. And viewers of Days of Our Lives, we will rerun that tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, unless we have more storms. But I don't think we will.
Certainly hope not. We're seeing this formation here. In some of these storms, it's been kind of difficult to see where the tornado would be located. In some others, it's a little bit easier. This is forming this hook sort of shape, and probably if there is a tornado actually touching the ground, it's probably about right here, just barely, like 2 miles to the west of Decaturville right now, and moving into Decaturville, and areas just to the north of Decaturville. Let's put another storm track on that, maybe make it a little bit broader. I don't want to leave anybody out who could be in the line of danger here.
Just a heads up to everybody here, Nancy, in extreme western, or Allen, western Tennessee, Henderson County has a tornado warning. That's not going to affect us immediately, but it just tells us there's more storms brewing out west. So what was the earlier information? This might be going in strength till 8 or so tonight?
8 or so, and would it be extended past that? I guess it's quite possible. Looks like this would reach Decaturville by 2:22. This is appears to be a tornado. Whether it's hitting the ground or not, we don't know. But we need to treat it like it is, take precautions like it is, take cover immediately. By 2:22, this is in Decaturville. By 2:22, Mount Tabor. By 2:23, Largo. By 2:26, Utah. By 2:27, Mount Lebanon. By 2:28, Perryville, and moving on into Perry County.
Out in Dixon County, where we had the tornado hit this morning, and it looks like the whole weather system is refiring again. Ava Filson is out there to give us this update. Good afternoon to you, Ava. It's been a long and hard day for you, hasn't it?
It has been a long day, but even a longer one for you, James. And I'm sure that to hear that the weather system is about to refire, as you say, is probably the last thing people here want to hear, because this morning they were hit pretty hard. Here at Freeport, USA, crews are trying to make repairs to this building where the roof came off this morning. Several of the side panels were also ripped apart. TEMA and Red Cross workers have been busy throughout the day. Right now, they are with residents in the hardest hit area off Nails Creek Road, trying to assess the damage there. We're told that some 30 homes are back there. Many of them have been damaged in some way, and last report they tell us 30 of them completely destroyed. They tell us now about 6 people were actually injured. 3 of them were transported to the hospital, but of course all of those injuries were non-critical. At this point, officials are thinking about the school children who will soon be getting out of school within the next couple of hours. They're trying to make arrangements for someone to be with them as they drive them through that hardest hit area, because they don't want them showing up at any home when no one is there. The Red Cross has set up a shelter. They tell us at this point no one has taken advantage of that shelter, but we kind of think that's because people are still in the neighborhoods trying to salvage whatever they can from their homes. We expect to get some type of an update from TEMA and Red Cross workers at about 3 o'clock this afternoon. They also tell us around that time they'll probably take us on another tour. They're keeping everybody who doesn't live in the area out at this point so that they can clean up trees that were falling over, help residents, talk with them to see what their needs are and to see where they need to go from here. James?
What's the mood of the people there, Ava?
Well, they're hurt because they've lost a lot, but they're also thankful because there has been no loss of life. A lot of them talked to us about close calls and how scared they were when the tornado hit here sometime between 7 and 7:30, we're told. Of course, they're thankful to be alive, but some of them really have lost a lot because their homes were, in some cases, were completely destroyed, and in other cases, they're looking at major damage.
You guys are doing a great job out there in the field. Thank you so much, Ava.
Thank you.
It's a cold, wet day out there. Not cold, it's a wet and hard day for them. All right, 2 new tornado warnings.
Yes, there is the one, first of all, in Perry County, and we just talked about that system extensively, the one that went from Henderson moving into Decatur County, and now we expect it to move into Perry County as well. And since we've spent some time there and talked about that, want to spend some time here in the Waverly area, where there is a tornado warning, a new tornado warning in effect. According to the National Weather Service statement, this is in eastern Humphreys County. In eastern Humphreys County, we're talking about this area right here. Let me get this back to white. Eastern Humphreys County. We're talking about this area just to the south of McEwen, between Bold Spring and McEwen. This is moving east at 45 miles an hour, and this is not exactly what I want to say at all, but I have to say that this appears that it could very well hit Dixon again.
Great, Governor. That's directly in the path, isn't it?
It's directly in the path.
Well, somebody needs to alert the people out there in the field.
Immediately.
I'm not on the two-way with
we
them.
have staff out there, and of course there are people who have been left homeless out there today, who are probably still out there cleaning up and trying to get their lives back together, and they certainly don't need a hit like this. According to the National Weather Service.
How many miles is that from Dixon to that location? It's about 7 miles away.
Actually, I think we're maybe looking at this here.
I'm looking at this one to see if we might ask Ava if she can see anything off to her west there.
If there is a tornado, it looks like that's probably about 10 miles away. There's an area of hail and strong downpours headed toward Dixon that looks like it's maybe 7 or 8 miles away.
We have a happy ending story we want to tell you about, but for a while it did not look like it was going to be a happy ending. In the Hurricane Mills area in Lebanon, some youngsters were playing in a creek, as youngsters do like to do. Who among us has not jumped into a creek with roaring waters like this? The only problem was the youngsters got caught in the creek, and they had to hold on until they were rescued.
Well, it's just... Well, I was scared the water was going to come up on them before I could get them out of there, you know. And just had to get them. Somehow I run down there. I couldn't find a way across. And it's just, I just had to get to them. That's all.
That's Pam Mills, the mother.
I mean, tell us what was you doing before it started?
We was just going over there and was just looking around and playing, and all of a sudden we just heard my little sister screaming, and we rushed to go see what happened, and the water was coming to her, and I went out there and grabbed her.
Well, it was a happy ending, and it was certainly a cliffhanger there for a bit, and we're so happy that those youngsters have been rescued. That was their mother, Pam Mills, and the youngsters were out there playing in the water. They're now rescued, and they're happy to be alive, but I'll bet you they feel drained of energy and highly traumatized, as do many people out there today who've seen tornadoes come their way, and maybe some of them come back again, like in the Dixon area.
Yes. Now, I've been a little bit hesitant about exactly where to base this storm track. The National Weather Service says that their radar indicated a tornado 5 miles south of Waverly and heading east. Now, by the time we get that statement, it's probably already moved a little bit. Now, so the time on this is, give or take a few minutes, but roughly these are the areas that need to be thinking about seeking shelter immediately. New Hope by 2:29, Milltown by 2:33, Tennessee City by 2:40, Oak Grove by 2:42, Donegan Crossing by 2:44, Eno by 2:45. Other places that should see some of this storm that appears to be at this point a tornado: Pond by 2:47. Dixon by 2:50, Pomona by 2:54, Colesburg by 2:54, Tidwell by 2:55, Iron Hill by 2:56, Abiff by 2:56, and Burns by 2:56. Now, just because it says 2:33 Milltown, don't think you have exactly until 2:33 to grab shelter. I mean, get shelter as soon as you possibly can, because this is a very accurate tool, but it isn't perfect, and this could arrive a few minutes sooner or a few minutes later.
It's real good equipment, except tornadoes don't always pay attention to it. And let's see, the Weather Service has issued a tornado warning, for the Decaturville area, 8 miles southwest of Horner. This is moving east at 45 miles an hour. They've already got 1-inch size hail near Parsons. That's all part of that whole system.
Okay, so while we go back down to that area, the folks, especially in Dixon and between, say, McEwen and Bold Spring and Dixon, go ahead and be taking cover now. Okay, now we have to swing a little bit further south. We don't want to leave you there, but there are multiple storms firing up all at once.
Well, it's refiring, and there's more to the west. So since our weather movement is west to east. Oh, great heavenly days.
Okay, and this is...
We now have a severe thunderstorm warning for Christian County, Kentucky. That is in the Hopkinsville area. A severe thunderstorm warning. That means high winds up to 50 miles an hour, hail, and lightning. And, of course, also the potential for a tornado.
This is right here.
Yes, Christian County, Kentucky.
Okay, I guess we should go ahead and check. This is a new warning, is it, that you've mentioned southeast of Decaturville? Or is it kind of an update on a previous warning?
I think it's an update. Of course, the entire area in Middle Tennessee is under a tornado watch until 8 o'clock tonight. And as the afternoon wears on and the temperatures warm up, this is not at all surprising. Some of the temperatures around Middle Tennessee, for example, here in Nashville at the airport, it's 70. Down towards Savannah, it's 76. Memphis is 81. I'll bet you things are really storming up there. Actually, no, it's not. I'm looking at the Weather Service information. It's partly sunny in Memphis. Well, I'm not going to predict Memphis's weather, but I'd say with that kind of heating up there, there's the potential for things to happen. And down toward Knoxville, they're seeing some light rain.
Okay, the National Weather Service says they expect this tornado to reach Horner at 2:30, Flatwoods at 2:35. And here's where we're seeing that storm move right now. They say it's going east at 45 miles an hour. Now, it looks like that'll put it in Busseltown by 2:31, Burton's Landing by 2:33, West Mousetail Landing by 2:33, Howard by 2:33, Mousetail Landing by 2:33, Spring Creek by 2:33. Other areas in line for this: Pope by 2:35, Linden by 2:45, Chestnut Grove by 2:48, Beardstown by 2:48, Pleasantville by 2:48. And you'll probably get a good bit of hail before you start seeing tornado for some of you folks.
Let's take a close-up look at that red area there between Lobelville and Linden.
Let me move this box.
Looks like there's some pretty good, well, there's some strong echoes coming from there, which makes me suspect it's probably hail.
Yeah, it sure looks a lot like hail. This is probably hail, very heavy downpours. Some of the areas getting a little bit of this. Linden Pine View Road, Strickland Road, Bunker Hill Road, Owl Hollow Road, Bunker Hill Road again, Deer Creek Road. Strickland Road is under this really hot spot right now. But where we're looking at the tornado is probably right here, very close to Parsons, just to the east side of Parsons and moving to the east. Linden, this doesn't look like this would miss you by much, so Linden, you need to be ready to take cover right now.
Decatur, Perry, and Humphreys County tornado warning that just came up on the screen, just a recapitulation. Decatur, Perry, and Humphreys counties.
And moving up a little bit north again to that area in Humphreys County, this is the one that it looks like is headed toward Dixon again. We don't need that one little bit.
Not a bit. Just like, looks like just off to their north and west there.
Yeah, they're getting some real strong downpours right now. Jones Creek Road, just to the north of Dixon, Old Charlotte Road to the north of Dixon, State Highway 48, Sycamore Road, Yellow Creek Road, North Hummingbird Lane, getting some real strong downpours now, maybe some hail. I believe, and this is one of those areas that gets a little tricky again as to exactly where that is. And there's not a service, not an arrow from the National Weather Service to help us. Now this one is going east at 45 miles an hour as well.
Pretty much any place in Middle Tennessee, you're under the watch tonight, under the watch until 8 p.m. and pretty much any place else. You know, earlier, a couple of hours ago, it's now 2:30, a couple of hours ago, this area was looking all clear, possibly even had some sun. Well, you see what happens when the sun shines after a storm like this. It refires.
Yeah, the sun may have contributed. I'm going to back the storm track up a little bit. This looks like a likely area and broaden it out a bit.
Our colleagues out in Dixon have lowered the tower. That's one of the things you have to do when lightning is around, so we won't be going back to them for a little bit.
Good. Tennessee City, 239. This could be reaching you. Oak Grove by 241. Donegan Crossing by 242. Eno by 243. Pond by 245. Dixon by 248. And the storms would reach after Dixon. They would progress to Pomona by 251. Colesburg by 251. Tidwell by 252, Iron Hill by 252, Burns by 253, Porter by 256, Frog Pond by 3, White Bluff by 3, Liberty Hill by 303. If I've mentioned any towns that are anywhere close to you at all, go ahead and take cover right now. You want to get in a basement if you can. If your house or a place of work doesn't have a basement, well then head for the lowest area of the building, the lowest floor of the building. Try to get it roughly in the center of the building. But the key is, even more than the center, you want to put as many walls between you and the tornado as you can. You get in a closet, a bathroom, an interior hallway. Make sure it's a room that is not exposed to windows, doors, or outside walls. You don't want to be around those areas at all, because then you are subject to flying debris from the outside. Use blankets, pillows, or cushions to protect your body from any flying debris that may make it to you. Do not take any time at all to open the windows in your home. It's kind of an old myth that if you open all the windows, that'll equalize the pressure and your home will be just fine. even though it takes a hit from a tornado, that's not the case. What you end up losing is time. And we have actually a new tornado warning. Looks like this is for Dixon County, the same area that we're focused on right now.
Yeah, here it is. National Weather Service says Doppler radar spotted a tornado 6 miles west of Dixon. 6 miles west of Dixon, a tornado spotted on Doppler radar. We hope it doesn't touch the ground. We have a lot of people there from Channel 4. We also have a lot of people there trying to clean up from the tornado that hit there this
6 miles
morning.
west of Dixon, puts it right here.
Oh, that's right in that
So
crook.
I'm going to move ahead our storm track just a little bit and put it in exact alignment with that. And here we go. That'll put it in Tennessee City by 2:37, Donegan Crossing by 2:41, Eno by 2:41, Pond by 2:43, Dixon 2:46. So Dixon, this would be reaching you in about 10 minutes, but don't waste any time getting sheltered. Seek shelter immediately. Pomona by 2:49. And other areas that can expect to see a hit from this: Colesburg by 2:49, Tidwell by 2:50, Burns by 2:52, Readers something, perhaps Crossing by 2:54, Baker's World something by 2:55, Frog Pond by 2:58, White Bluff by 2:59, Clay Lick by 2:59, New Hope by 3:03, Belltown by 3:03, and Craigie Hope by 3:04.
The latest sweep there shows you those red areas with the intense returns on the echo. The Weather Service says there is a tornado 6 miles west of Dixon. That would be about 4 miles southwest of Pond, and it's moving east at 45 miles an hour.
Now, so far, we've been a little bit comforted because the area of hail and severe downpours appears to be north of Dixon. Not that we wish ill on anybody else, but it appears to be that area staying north of the folks who have already gotten hit. But the area where this tornado appears to be is a direct hit on Dixon. Folks in Dixon, you need to take cover immediately. And James, I don't know if you've been to Dixon or not, but it's a pretty good-sized town. And it's a highly populated area, really, I think much more than a lot of people realize. Folks in Dixon, we want you to get through this safely. Go now to your basement. If you don't have a basement, the safest place is the lowest level of your house, in the center, probably in the center of your house, putting as many walls as possible between you and the tornado. Get in a closet, a bathroom, an interior hallway. Stay away from windows, doors, and outside walls. Grab a blanket if you can, pillows or cushions to protect your body from flying debris. Do not take any time to open windows in your home. It really doesn't help at all. If you're in a mobile home and you're in the Dixon area right now, you need to get out immediately.
You saw those pictures of what happened earlier.
Yes,
It's not a good place to be.
Seek shelter in a substantial building. Go, again, just like we told you, to the lowest floor, the basement, etc. If you can't get to a shelter in a substantial building, the National Weather Service says to lie flat in the nearest ditch or ravine or in a culvert and use your hands to shield your head. Also be aware that there is water rising in many areas because of the heavy downpours, so you may have to contend with that as well if you're in a ditch or in a culvert. Areas such as schools, nursing homes, hospitals, factories, shopping centers, there may be designated shelter areas in the building you're in. Maybe you're working today. If there aren't designated areas, choose an interior hallway or a closet on the lowest floor of the building. Same for a high-rise building. If you're working in a high-rise building or living in a high-rise building, the interior, small rooms or hallways, the lowest floor possible, that's the way to go. We really want you to get through this in one piece. That's why we're here.
And as long as there is a danger in the area, our commitment is to stay on the air and advise you where those dangerous areas are and what you should do to maximize your safety and minimize the danger. So it's now 2:39. We've been on the air how many hours, Nancy? 7? About that?
More.
8?
I think.
As long as it takes, and we may be on the air, who knows, another 8.
This appears now to be about 4.5 miles west of Dixon. Right now, bearing down on Donegan Crossing, Eno, Pond. Dixon, you can expect to see this in about 5 or 6 minutes. Pomona by 2:49, Colesburg by 2:49. Then it moves on. Moving on to Tidwell at 2:50, Burns by 2:52, Readers something, I can't make out the whole word, by 2:54. Baker's World or something like that by 2:55. Frog Pond by 2:58. White Bluff by 2:59. Clay Lick by 2:59. New Hope by 3:03. Belltown by 3:03. Craigie Hope by 3:04. Again, the folks in Charlotte right now are getting a lot of downpours and hail. Of course, you need to be indoors too. You don't want to be going through this. We just got another sweep that is putting this about 3.5 to 4 miles away from Dixon. The actual location from Dixon is right in the center of the word. It's not at the beginning of the D. It's in the center of the word Dixon, somewhere right around the K and the S.
We should remind anybody that has children that may be tempted to play in these rivers or little streams. They could be quite dangerous. We had a story from Hurricane Mills just a minute ago. Fortunately, a youngster was saved, was rescued. But you know, a youngster and water moving this fast, it could be quite dangerous. So if you're in the area around Charlotte or McEwen or any place else where there's been a lot of rain, a lot of runoff, would not be a good idea to let the kids play out in the street. As much as tempting though it may be, and I know I've done it myself.
Some of the roads right now where there may be actual tornadic circulation right now. Broadway of America Highway, Street Road, Eno Road, again, Broadway of America Highway, Yellow Creek Road, and CCC Road. Still advancing toward Dixon. And this is now about 3.5 miles away from Dixon, bearing down right now on Pond. Dixon should see this at about 2:46, maybe a minute or so earlier. Pomona by 2:49, Colesburg by 2:49, Tidwell by 2:50, Burns by 2:52.
Let me mention those little static-looking marks on the screen there. That's lightning. And lightning, of course, is one of the things that happens in these kinds of storms. Up in Goodlettsville, they had a bunch of lightning that did some damage this morning. And, you know, one of the dangers of a severe thunderstorm is not only the wind and the hail, but also the lightning. Those lightning bolts are at thousands of volts. Right there is where it hit the ground, dug a pretty deep hole. It's right in Goodlettsville. It heats the air around it to several thousand degrees. It's almost like an explosion. It hit the house and ran down to the ground. Did some damage right there to the edge of the house. Looks like it caught on fire, and the Goodlettsville Fire Department had to come out there and put it out. That's part of the whole system of storms that hit Middle Tennessee this morning and continues this afternoon. This is Goodlettsville. Look at the damage to the drain spout there. Thousands of volts of electricity running through that drain spout, down into the ground there. Fire department put out the fire, what little one that it was, but it certainly was a bad omen for the people living there, and I'm certain it frightened them considerably, although if it was me, I'd be quite thankful that it didn't set the whole house on fire or kill somebody.
James, need to mention...
When we got here, we had light smoke coming out of the E-vents. Appeared lightning struck, possibly on the electrical side of the house, the riser, and maybe even got on the gutter because we do have a exit from the lightning on one of the gutters. It did get inside the house in one wall, but we were able to tear that wall out and get it out before it done very much damage.
Chief Gibson of the Goodlettsville Fire Department there talking about lightning damage there in Goodlettsville. Well, that is among the things that does damage during these kinds of storms, and we have more in the area of the Dixon and Charlotte areas. And of course, lightning tips, get away from trees and telephone poles. They're like lightning rods. Beware of open water and get away from hilltops. Farm equipment, usually made of metal, stay away from those. Golf carts and clubs are not a good place to be. So crouch into a ball on the ground is the advice that we give you.
Okay, back to SkyMax Live Radar. We're zoomed in close on the Dixon area. This looks like there's a possibility it may go slightly to the northern part of Dixon. Right now it's about 1.5 miles away from Dixon. It appears to be sliding just slightly to the north, but not far enough to the north to miss the city.
Now we're looking at a severe thunderstorm here?
Yes, right here. I'm sorry, I should have pointed that out. Right here is where it appears the area of circulation would be, that would be a tornado if it is indeed hitting the ground. We hope it's not. We hope it's circulating up in the air and everybody here is going to be okay. And while we're talking about this, we need to mention that there is still a tornado warning in effect for Decatur and Perry counties. Folks in Decatur and Perry counties need to be taking cover right now, and that may be getting ready to move into Hickman County too. We'll take a look at that in just a moment.
But this looks like if it continues on its path, it'll be in the north part of Dixon there, and probably touching the southern portion of that area, maybe touching the middle part of Dixon.
It looks like it would perhaps hit Oak Drive here, which is just to the northern part, just to the north of the heart of Dixon. And this road right here is Highway 48, this
Okay.
main road you see coming down through here.
Looks like right now the northwestern corner of Dixon is getting pelted very hard. And even to the south, even though you're not in the area that's orange or red colored, you're going to see some turbulence and probably some heavy rain there. Perhaps not quite as much hail, but you are going to see some hail very likely there to the north and west of Dixon.
West College Street, you need to be taking cover right now. This is looking ominous for your area. If this is indeed on the ground, West College Street looks like they'll be getting some immediately.
And when this passes through, our colleagues and reporters out there in the field will be able to start their equipment up again and feed signals back to us and let us know what they've seen. One of the shortcomings of electronic equipment is it's something like a lightning rod, and you don't want to have those towers up in the air during lightning storms.
North Charlotte Street, where it meets up with, I believe, what road did we say this was? North Charlotte Street, where it meets up with, say, North Main Street. This is an area of concern as well.
Ken Loggins from WDKN in Dixon is on the line with us now. Ken, it must be looking pretty stormy there.
Yes, indeed it is. Off to the west, we do have some rather ominous-looking clouds, and I'm looking out our window right now. We're located in downtown Dixon, and we do see right now some heavy rain starting to fall here in the downtown area.
Your window there faces south, doesn't it?
Actually, it faces to the north.
Oh, it does. So you can see straight up to the north there. You must be seeing some pretty mean weather.
We've had your channel on here in the studio, and apparently your latest indications are that the storm might be moving a bit to the north of us here downtown, but we do see right now some heavy rain starting to fall as we speak.
Do you see any signs of hail or a strong wind?
No signs of hail as of yet. Once again, it's just now kicked in, getting lots of blowing rain and really heavy rain falling here in downtown Dixon. We're at the corner of College and Main here in Dixon, so we're pretty much in the heart of the city, and right now seeing some very heavy rainfall. We had an unofficial report moments ago from a lady who called us here at the station, said she thought she might have seen a funnel cloud just to the west of the high school, but once again, everyone at the high school has been notified as to what's going on, and they're taking appropriate precautions over there.
Ken, I just wanted to interrupt for just a second. Excuse me. This has not been confirmed as a funnel cloud. There was one listener who called you.
Yes, and as I say, that's very unofficial at this time. She was just a lady calling the station, concerned about, probably her kids at the high school, as we all would be.
Well, let's see. It's 10 minutes till 3. Is high school still in session?
It will be. We'll be letting out shortly, and like I said, I was telling the folks in here earlier, this is the worst time something like this could move through because people are concerned about their kids, and people are on their way and coming home from school, so it's not really ever a good time for this, but not the best time.
Ken, what's this latest storm done to the cleanup operations? Have you heard?
I haven't heard the latest on the cleanup as of yet. As a matter of fact, you guys over there are probably as up to date as we are on the cleanup efforts, but this latest storm, it can't be helping. What we're hoping is that maybe if this skirts through the northern part of Dixon, that maybe those on the southern end that caught the brunt this morning might be spared all of this heavy rain.
All right, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's Ken Loggins at WDKN Radio in Dixon. Yep, he's confirming what we're seeing on radar, Nancy. There's some pretty heavy weather moving through there to the north right now. And it looks like, what's this new sweep? I'll just stop. It looks like it is moving due east. That'll clear up for the next revolution.
Yeah. Well, we know it is moving on past Dixon. and right now just to the north of downtown Dixon. Whether it's hitting the ground or not, that's one thing.
But this is a system that the National Weather Service had issued a tornado warning, saying they had spotted by Doppler radar what they thought was a tornado up there in the air. And it continues to move east. We've not heard anything new from the Weather Service, so we assume rebuttably that it's not hit the ground and not caused any severe damage.
Okay. I'll tell you what, I'm going to move this box over.
You know, we haven't looked at the rest of the state. Why don't we finish this up and take a look at elsewhere? This is the biggest one right now and the closest to us.
Well, and we know it's moving through a well-populated area.
Like Nashville, yeah.
Moving on, gee, I didn't realize that that this was such a direct line from Dixon toward the Bellevue area. If this hangs together, it would be moving in very close. If it continues holding together like it is now, it would move in close to the Bellevue area and maybe a little bit closer in toward downtown Nashville. I'm actually seeing something a little bothersome right in this area right now. This may develop into something that we're not enthusiastic about at all.
That area there, where the Bellevue area has been hit earlier today, we have not heard any reports of severe damage there, so I assume there has not been any. But I'm sure they do not welcome the return of more strong winds and hail, and it looks like they're going to very likely get it.
Next, this storm. Okay, we have a tornado warning in Hickman County.
Yes, that just came in.
Until 3:35.
That's right there in the Centerville area. That's that red dot right under the E in Centerville. Until 3:35, they're saying a tornado is 4 miles north of Linden. 4 miles north of Linden. That is not spotted on the ground, by the way. It's according to National Weather Service radar, Doppler radar. In Hickman County, it is, let's see where it is again, Nancy. 4 miles north of Linden, okay.
Okay.
That's right up there east of Lobelville, looks like. Is that the 4 miles there?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
okay,
that'll do
so
it.
there it is, due north. So all in that area, it's extremely volatile right now.
Is this moving to the east at 45, James?
Northeast at 40.
Northeast at 40. That changes everything.
So that puts the Lobelville area clearly in the path.
I'm going to broaden this out some. Okay, so there we have it. This would reach Beardstown by 2:54, DePriest Bend by 2:55, Lobelville by 2:59, Cobble by 3:09, Whitfield by 3:10, Furnace by 3:15. And then onward to Spot by 3:18, White House by 3:19, and Elkins by 3:22. Of course, this is a tornado warning, which means a tornado has been spotted on Doppler radar. We don't have any confirmation about it hitting the ground, but we do know that it certainly looks suspicious right now. It certainly is going to be causing hail damage, wind damage, and onward. Whether you get tornadoes from this or not, you can expect to see some sort of damage. In fact, this area right here, just to the east of Lobelville, is where we're seeing a lot of the hail right now. In fact, this one bright dot you see there, trying to find what road might be there, and it doesn't appear that there's one right under that. It's close to Wolf Creek Road, which is just east of Lobelville.
There's Wolf Creek Road. Why don't we take a look at one of the signatures, Nancy, and see what we have in terms of hail over that area. Do we have any arrows?
Well, you know, there aren't any arrows there right now.
Oh, that's right, they're not. Well, we can't do that without those. We should mention, we just got this in Todd County, Kentucky, a severe thunderstorm warning. That's up in the Elkton area. So that's continuing to move, to spread out to the north there.
So those folks in the Lobelville area need to go ahead and take precautions right now.
And very likely to the east of Todd County there in the Warren County, Kentucky, where Bowling Green is, you're likely to be seeing some of that action.
Okay, Todd County. Let's zoom in a little closer on this whole area.
That's just northeast of Hopkinsville. Yeah, right there where you are.
And this is a severe thunderstorm watch, or
Severe
thunderstorm,
thunderstorm warning.
Warning.
Yeah, and it's right up there northwest of Elkton.
And we don't have any arrows on that at the moment. And let's go ahead. Well, actually, we do now, don't we?
We are looking at that arrow is an identifier that the National Weather Service attaches. They tag each of these storms, and they keep track of them by name.
And how severe it is.
And it'll give you a lot of data about it. How severe is that one?
Right in the middle of this is a very strong cell, probably lots of hail, very heavy downpours coming down here. Some of the roads that are in that area are Shanklin Road, Liberty, Brittmart Road, Rattlesnake Road.
We're looking at Todd County, Kentucky, where the Weather Service has just issued a severe thunderstorm warning. They are spreading out, Nancy. It's now 3 o'clock. Temperatures are continuing to stay warm. It's in the 70s and a few places in the 80s. We would expect to see something like this to happen when stormy weather is followed by nice warm sunshine. Paris is an hour ago was reported to be partly sunny and 71. Those are the ideal conditions to produce more of these flare-ups.
I want to put it in a storm track here. James, at what speed did it say that this was moving?
There one in Todd County?
Yes.
I don't know, but I'll find out.
I think I see it here. East at 45 miles an hour, so that changes the direction of things a little bit. And I want to widen that track. This storm heading into Liberty at 2:58. Wilhelmina by 3 o'clock, Cedar Grove by 3:01, Claymore by 3:04, Sharon Grove by 3:05, Daysville by 3:05.
We know we have a lot of viewers in the Hopkinsville area, and the Weather Service says there is a severe thunderstorm, and that's what you're seeing there, that red area.
Then it moves on to Justice, Everett, Crossroad, Gordonville, Whippoorwill, Spa, Cave Sprinkle or something, Edwards, Epleys, Danby, Lost City, Russellville, Cooperstown, that's Cooperstown in Kentucky, and Ensco and Homer. All those areas can expect to see a bit of this storm. And it is, by the way, I should mention, it is a mesocyclone, as indicated by that dark red arrow just to the north of us, just to the north of Hopkinsville. And these types of powerful thunderstorms often do create tornadoes.
In Dixon County, we've had a flare-up again, and some of those areas around there have a severe thunderstorm warning, tornado warning, in effect. Let's see here, for Cheatham County. That's new information. Tornado warning for Cheatham County. We have Cecil Whaley on the line from TEMA. Cecil, any indication of any damage there in the Dixon area? Is that fired up again?
No, they've received some heavy winds, and they are all being very careful about what they're doing out there, of course, as they're going through the damage assessment and damage cleanup in that area. But no, we haven't received any new damages. We're estimating preliminarily maybe $275,000, $300,000 worth of damage that's already been done there today in that community.
We just have a tornado warning now for Cheatham County.
Cheatham County just came in.
Okay, let's go ahead and track this. The National Weather Service Doppler radar indicated a tornado 4 miles northeast of Dixon. And that's, I'm betting this is what we're talking about right here. 4 miles of Dixon moving east at 45 miles an hour.
And that red area there is of great concern also. That just got redder. That's very likely hail. That's directly to the west of Nashville. So Cheatham County and western Davidson County looks like some hail is moving through there.
This is the same system we just saw move in north of Dixon.
Man.
In the northern part of Dixon, just above, just north of downtown Dixon. I'm going to move this box down.
Edwin Hogan is on the line from the Cheatham County Emergency Management Agency. Edwin, good afternoon, sir.
Good evening.
Something you need to tell the parents of folks?
Yes, the school board with Cheatham County and I have gotten together, and they're holding the children at the schools and not releasing them on the buses until this storm does pass over our county.
Oh, that sounds wise. Probably the schools in one of the sturdier buildings around, aren't they?
That's correct. So we've got them on hold till the storm passes by so that we can release them then.
Well, what are you seeing and hearing right there, Mr. Hagen?
Right now, it's real dark and it's raining. We do have some lightning and things seem to be pretty still. So we've got some of our audible alarms going off and trying to warn people as best we can. So,
are you seeing any signs of hail?
No, sir, not at this time. Just some light rain and real dark and right now still.
Well, that's sometimes the calm before the storm. I hope not, but those are the
indicators. So we're bracing for the worst and hoping for the best.
That's a good idea. Thank you, Mr. Hagen. It's Edward Hagen from the Cheatham County Emergency Management Agency. Well, Nancy and I are not the only games in town. There are other people who work here at Channel 4, among them reporters.
I have a storm track on this, and I need to mention the towns that are under the gun here. Belltown by 3:03, Craigie Hope by 3:04, Kingston Springs by 3:07, Shacklet by 3:08, Pegram by 3:12, Newsom by 3:16. And then it keeps moving onward to Bellevue by 3:20, West Meade by 3:24. Earlier today, we saw storms come through the same area. Bellevue by 3:20, West Meade by 3:24, Charlotte Park by 3:24, Channel 4 by 3:26, Jordonia by 3:26, Belmead by 3:26, Richland by 3:27, Forest Hills 3:27, Bordeaux 3:29, Green Hills by 3:29. Everyone that we've just mentioned and any place nearby, you need to go ahead and take cover right now.
Now, right there in Hickman County, Centerville is right in the middle of all that. We have Mickey Bond from WNKX. Hello, Mickey.
Hello.
How's it looking right now?
Well, we're starting to get pelted with a little rain again. Understand we have some warnings out for this area at this time.
Yes, indeed.
And this morning, as the tornado struck Dixon, I went over there to do some live reports and was on my way back, and we got struck in Hickman County as well by some high winds and large hail. My wife and I were riding back, and we were in the Wrigley area when the tornado warning went out with the sighting about 7 miles north of Centerville, and we were being pelted with hail, and we stopped and went into Lyle's post office and stayed in there. We were scared that we were being hit with it.
Because we remind everybody we are talking about Centerville there in Hickman County. Did you see, did the hail get pretty deep on the ground, Mr. Bond?
It didn't get pretty deep. You could see it on the ground when we left the post office. It was probably up to an inch in diameter, and it was hitting me pretty hard. I didn't want to be in the truck at that point. I wanted to go inside somewhere.
You made a smart move. You've been following your own advice you've been giving to listeners, haven't you?
Right, and I also work with the local rescue squad, and I was leaving there, and we had a pole that was blown down across the road in Wrigley. Several trees had been blown down. We had several reports of those and had to get out and clean those out of the road. And we never did have any confirmed touchdowns of a funnel cloud here, but we had some real rough winds around noon today, and we're getting pelted again right now.
Well, what's it look like right now?
It's raining right now, sort of gloomy looking and raining. We don't know exactly what's going to occur. Understand, you know, there are some warnings and watches out for this area. We don't know exactly what's going to occur at this point, but we are being pelted with some rain at this point.
Well, get ready to take cover.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you, Mickey Bond.
Thank you.
That's from WNKX in Centerville, there in Hickman County. Mike Maychek is with us. We had told you earlier about the Joe Burns Elementary School and High School that had suffered some wind damage. You were out there. Was it a close call for those youngsters?
A real close call. A lot of relieved folks up there in Robertson County. It was about 10 o'clock, 10:30 this morning. They followed their emergency drill, which was exactly what they needed to do. The students said they had practiced this. When the staff saw the bad weather coming in, they got all the students out into the hallway, facing the walls, heads down. We talked to some students who said they were holding hands and they were praying. What they got out there was mostly high winds. I don't think anybody's talking tornado, but as you can see there from the pictures, that's a piece of wood just sticking down into that car, peeled off the roof off of the school building. According to the principal, major structural damage. We don't know at this point whether they will have school tomorrow. That's something they're still assessing. I've got a call into the Board of Education there in Robertson County trying to find out just what the situation is.
Mike, from the looks of your pictures there, it looks like there was some pretty strong winds blowing over those trees and utility poles.
Very strong winds, peeled off almost the entire roof off the entire school complex. flattened a lot of trees in the area. They have power lines down. They've got crews out there working to restore the power. The school lost air conditioning and heating. A lot of problems there, water damage. So my guess is no school tomorrow, but we're going to let folks know later on the scene at 5 and 6. I'm going to go back to the newsroom, put some reports together, and get some information. But a lot of relieved parents, a lot of students who followed the instructions, followed the tornado drill to the T today, and everybody's safe and sound. I know when the parents first heard the reports about...
Get rid of you. I know you're very upset, Susan.
Oh, that's kind of putting it